to do. We'll build a great big dammy for our dear old Uncle Sammy in the good old 3 CCs.
In 1933, a newly formed army assembled at Black Hawk State Park in Rock Island, Illinois. But this was no ordinary army, and these were not ordinary soldiers. These soldiers enlisted for shoveling, not shooting. But they still lived, worked, and got homesick, just like the soldiers in the regular army. These soldiers' objectives were simple: to restore and preserve the area's natural beauty and build structures that would serve the community for generations to come. As Assistant Camp Superintendent Arnold Kugler said, "Just give us time and we'll make a paradise out of these grounds." And they did. Today, visitors come to Black Hawk State Historic Site to visit its museum, explore its trails, and take advantage of its unspoiled environment. But few are aware of how the park and its lodge came to be. Black Hawk State Historic Site was originally an amusement park called Watchtower Park. It was built in the 1880s by the Rock Island and Milan Steam Railway and situated at the very end of one of its streetcar lines. Riders who ventured to this out-of-the-way place were rewarded with free admission to its tennis courts, croquet grounds, and walking trails. Visitors could also enjoy dining and dancing at the Watchtower Inn. But most people came for the rides. And the most popular ride of all was the 100-foot-long toboggan slide. It started at the park's bluff, then plunged its exhilarated passengers down into the river. In time, though, another fast-moving vehicle would put an end to the park. As automobiles became more affordable, Watchtower Park, which was supported by trolley fares, went bankrupt and closed. Soon, Rock Island naturalist John Hawberg and other area citizens pushed to make the park a place that would honor the Meskwaki and Sauk Indians who had once lived there, including a man named Black Hawk. In 1927, the state purchased the park and renamed it Black Hawk State Park. Plans were made to transform the site, but it would take a national catastrophe before such plans would become a reality. In 1929, the United States began to experience a severe economic downturn. On October 24th, and then again on the 29th, thousands of people lost everything they'd invested in the stock market, as stocks were traded in record numbers until their actual value was well below their original price. This and other factors led to the closing of banks, factories, and other businesses. The period would later be called the Great Depression.
We were a family of 5 boys and a girl, and my dad lost his job, and 2 brothers lost their jobs, and I ended up caddying down at Credit Island and taking all the money I made home, so forth.
In 4 years, unemployment was so high that 1 in 4 workers were out of a job. Many were without a home, too.
A year ago, I had no home. I had no place to stay. I roamed around the country, sleeping out along the way. I knew the real hitchhiker's life. I knew the hobo's style. I knew the hardships of a bum, trudging mile on weary mile.